out-of-body experiences and other occurrences. I woke up, and laying down, I must have lifted my arm, then looking at my arm I had lifted, I couldn't see my arm, so I brought it in front of my face, and couldn't see anything, so I panicked and waved my fingers in front of my face, still couldn't see anything, my hands was 100% there, but it was invisible, like disappeared. I kept my hand in front of my face and all I could see was the curtain and the wall all the way at the back of my room. I was absolutely looking straight through my hand that I could only see. I thought my hands had disappeared, and this made zero sense. So this was years back in 2011 or 2012. So years later, in around 2020 onwards, but 2021 especially, I would wake up sometimes, and my arms will be missing, I'm fully waving my hand frantically, but I can't see anything. And all I'm able to do is move my arms, so my whole body is always just laying there, when I'm waving my arms around. So this used to happen to me now and again. So when it happened one time, I thought let me not panic or worry, so I lifted my arm, then looked down with my eyes, and beside my body, I could see my hand still laying beside my body. All this happened for years, it never crossed my mind that I was having out-of-body experiences, and I thought if I did, I probably would have thought I was dead or something and not been ready for it. So from that day onwards when it would randomly happen, I would be relaxed, and one day, I even got comfortable and started rolling my arms in a circle, slightly just playing around with it, and feeling better than I usually do because I understood more. I've had sleep paralysis since I was young, so I know what that is, and it's not sleep paralysis because my arms are fully active, it's like if I never noticed my arm, I wouldn't know what's going on, so I would think it's just my normal hands, appearing invisible while it's still there. At this point I don't know what to call my original or real hands, there's no difference until you notice the other one. Anyone who knows me knows I've had a different real physical visitation before, the day Haiti had that earthquake in 2010, but that was a real event but different, so because I went somewhere else and touched something with my hands that day, I thought that was maybe why my arms were randomly looking invisible and so on, when I wake up. Also my 2012 experience was very physical, but this was happening years later, randomly when I wake up. So one day this happened when I slept somewhere, and I woke up, like 100% woke up or got woken up, I felt an invisible being standing behind me, gently holding my shoulders and one behind was next to my feet. The invisible being standing by my feet, was guiding my feet, and helping me lift them up back and forth, like an abs workout, while the other was on my shoulder gently holding on. They felt very comforting and peaceful, like they were trying to guide and teach me something. I've had experiences where I get waken up by something like a ghost or a being trying to strangle and bite me, where I have to fight it off while praying and all sorts, but these were angel-like and helpful beings. While they was doing that, I could hear some beings that sounded evil, speaking about the beings that was around, like contemplating and trying to figure out what the beings around me were. This happened on August the 13th, 2021. Then I must have just relaxed until it all stopped. This was the first time I remember having just my feet moving like that, when I tried and I was all alone later, and this happened in the daytime, I couldn't lift my feet easily upwards, so I figured that must have been my non-physical feet I was moving up and down so effortlessly. I woke up in October 2021, then this time I realized my feet were not in my body because it was raised feeling light, so I started moving them up and down feeling excited because it's usually my arms only being out of my body, so then I thought let me try roll backwards and see, so I brought them both down, then quickly flipped it backwards, and I flipped over backwards rolling over on the bed and landed on both feet standing up if the room. I was so surprised, my whole body was out, all by myself for the first time, so I thought let me go out the room and about, but as soon as I opened the door, I felt something trying to not let me open the door fully on come outside. I thought what, is someone here outside? I nearly thought is it my brother trying to pull the door and stop me or something, for some weird reason, but he wasn't even in the house so I don't know who would do that. I just couldn't understand but, I stood at the door. And decided to just stay, because I didn't know who else was about like that. It ended just remember waking up after being blocked, even though I was not sleeping in the first place, but woke up with my actual body. A lot of things went on, and if you master this realm of possibilities, you will realize humans don't need much to be extremely happy. Even a poor homeless person or someone feeling sad or heartbroken could experience things that feel even much greater and fulfilling than this three-dimensional plane of existence we experience. Some people who make agreements or sell their souls usually end up in a dark place, kingdom or world when they sleep, but normal good people should be ending up in good places, filled with light and goodness like kingdom of God, which even soft foreshadows the final heaven. Part of the reason we hear the kingdom of heaven is within. We should make sure we connect with the positive greater side. Another time I had my out-of-body experience was on the 18th of February, 2022. I woke up, and again I noticed my feet was out of my body, so this time, I thought let me roll over by flinging my feet to one side, so way I flung my feet, I just ended up landing on my feet in my room, so this time I thought let me turn around to look at my body then I looked back, and to my surprise, the place was totally empty. I couldn't believe it, I planned to look at my body even though I knew I wasn't ready to see my body laying down separated from myself. I just was surprised to not see anything. Some people need to know, this is not dark witchcraft or demonic experiences, where they have agreements and covenants with silly wicked entities and people, or the higher occult people who leave their bodies behind to go to dark worlds and dimensions. This is something any human can experience. Even scientists who have knowledge about quantum physics and other dimensions can cause to occur. Humans have this capacity, whether it's used for good or bad or just for experiment. Recently I was woken up to an invisible hand, touching me, and trying to touch my eyes, and I kept grabbing it and trying to push it off, then it was putting its hand in my eye and I felt something happen to the back of my eye. It's weird because I was shocked at how this spirit or thing could put its hand in my eyes, like a doctor doing an operation, but it didn't hurt, it just felt weird, so something happened and I heard a sound, so I grabbed it and removed it from inside my eye. The left one. So I just got up but didn't understand. Few weeks later, my mother wasn't feeling well, everyone was worried and she was saying she's having pain in her eyes. So she went to the hospital, they checked her, done a scan, and said she has something growing there, and when she went back again, they said one of her retinal had disconnected on the left eye, so she had to go for an emergency operation and finally got it done in May 2023. So it was quite weird and surprising I was going through this few months before she started feeling pains in her eyes and then eventually had to go and have an operation on it. I woke up in the night and there was this green reptilian